man who would kill without batting an eye. Creed had been one of them, the assassins, until he'd walked away and locked that darkness so far inside it would never escape again. He knew for a fact that a few of the men from Dave's private teams had worked for the assassins in the past. Creed imagined that Dave creating the specialty units had been his way of letting them have an out when that way of life became too difficult. Stone leaned his elbows on the marble island countertop and studied the condensation on his beer bottle. "Where are you working?" Creed asked, just to change the subject when Stone went silent. "Here and there." "Didn't Rossi offer you a job with Pegasus?" "Yeah, and I turned it down," Stone mumbled. "I can't work with that man." "With what man?" Stone scowled and twisted off the top and guzzled down half the beer, but Creed saw the pain behind Stone's fierce scowl. So maybe that meant his cousin really wasn't working for the assassins. "I'm just messing with you," Creed smiled and slapped Stone on the back. He knew Dave was the man Stone couldn't work with. Stone and the SecDef had a history that Creed wasn't quite sure about. He only knew that when Dave was mentioned, Stone went way too fucking grim and quiet. Creed made a mental note to ease up on his cousin. "I'm hungry," Stone said. "I got steaks." Stone pushed from the counter and walked to the wide patio doors just off the kitchen. "And a hell of a barbecue." Creed approached and stood next to his cousin, gazing out at the monster appliance. The enormous barbecue was his pride and joy. "A man is nothing without his grill." Stone snorted. "All right, weirdo. I'll stay for food." Creed cackled. "Then you'll make the salad." Stone rolled his eyes and began pulling things from the fridge. Reaching under Stone's arm, Creed pulled the raw steaks from the shelf and carried them and a plate out the back door. He gazed around the yard. The grass needed mowing, and he'd yet to plant any flowers in the beds, so the dirt sat empty. Just like the walls in the house. While he had the furniture, he hadn't bought any artwork. He also needed to find a person for the swimming pool maintenance. He started the flame and scraped the grill. A while later, Stone came out and placed a bowl of fresh salad on the patio table along with oil and vinegar. "So, how come you don't have someone special?" His cousin sprawled into one of the patio chairs that sat around a long glass table. "What?" Creed frowned. Where the hell did that question come from? Was it the house? Just because he had a very large, empty home didn't mean he needed someone in his life to fill it up. Living alone suited him. Sure, it got lonely, but he had plenty of family dropping by to fill the void. Plus, he was mostly at work or on a job, so the loneliness was fleeting. He wasn't sure if he wanted his house to be like it had been growing up with two sisters and a brother all the time. Also, when Stone and his siblings came over, it had been a fucking madhouse of noise. And laughter. Okay, he did miss that a lot, if he was being completely honest. It had been fun, but those days were a long time ago. "You know," Stone waved his hand around, getting his attention. "A significant other? Man? Woman? Anyone?" "I'm taking a break." "Well, yeah, after Monica I could see that, but it's been 3 fucking years. Stone's laugh grated on Creed's nerves. Monica had been a mistake, all right. But it hadn't been hers, nor had it been her fault that he'd lost interest. She'd done it for him in the beginning, but after a while he'd grown distant because the attraction had faded. He frowned at his cousin. He's up on Monica. She was hot. And nice. Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you shit because this is the longest I've seen you without someone," Stone said and took a swallow of beer. "There is someone I'm interested in," Creed said to get his cousin off his back. "Oh? Who is it? What's her name?" Creed groaned. Why the fuck had he opened his damned mouth? Now Stone would never let it go. Creed knew from experience that his cousin would ask until he got answers. Fuck. A picture of Kellum came to mind and he grimaced. Kellum was skittish and the last person on Earth who would welcome his advances. Creed remembered how he'd waited at the Halloween dance at Ace and Jacob's party for Kellum to arrive. All Creed had wanted was to hold Kellum in his arms and dance the night away. Only Kellum hadn't shown up that night, and the evening had turned sour. Creed had left the event with a feeling of rejection that still lingered. So? Kellum. His name is Kellum, Creed said and put the steaks on the grill.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.